And now it's my honor to introduce to you the Speaker of the Hour, and that is our Governor, recently reelected to another 4-year term, the 48th Governor of the State of Michigan, Rick Snyder.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. It's actually an honor to be with you. And over the last 4 years, I've done a number of events here in the Rotunda, but this is a special one. This is actually the largest group I've seen gather in the Rotunda of the Capitol for an event, because it's a great way to say thank you, and that for the wonderful service you've given our country. So this is a special day to us, in addition to you, I hope. So it's great to spend some thoughts with you in terms of ideas and concepts. First of all, though, I do want to thank MLive. Let's give them a big round of applause for doing this hard work. And you can see how far we've come in terms of chronicling your stories, because it's a living memory that we'll keep with us. As you can see from the Civil War days, we were able to keep flags. Now we can actually get your own words and thoughts and ideas and experiences that we can share with others. So it is wonderful the work they're doing. I also want to thank the Legacy Memorial Park Project. That's a great project to also, so thank you. So Debbie, thanks for your hard work and your organization. So thank you to the veterans first and foremost. You went in harm's way. You went into the most difficult situation in the world, and you made America proud. You kept us safe. You created a future for all of us. Thank you for that tremendous service. I want to say thank you to all the family members, because there were also sacrifices made there in terms of the experiences you had to live through, both during the war and after the war. And I want to say thank you to each and every family member that's part of this. I thought I'd share one experience, because every family was touched by World War II in some ways. One I would share with you quickly is my sister was about 7 years old. The war had ended. She was at our grandparents' home in Lansing. All of a sudden there was a knock on the door, and there was a serviceman standing in the doorway. My sister, even though she was 7, was fortunate enough to recognize him. It was our cousin. He was back from the war. She called for my mom and my grandma. They came to the door and they screamed. And why did they scream? Because my cousin had been reported missing in action in North Africa and presumed dead for several years, when in fact he had been a prisoner of war and never accounted for. So he showed up at our house, Grandma's house, because he didn't know where his parents lived anymore. So we were able to get our cousin back after that experience. And that's something that touches every family in terms of those kinds of experiences. So I appreciate the incredible things you've done, and it is great to honor you. What I would say, though, is I also want to honor your service after you came back. And I think it's great to see the stories. I've talked to several of you and heard things you've done after you returned from the war. You were that role model for many of us in terms of how we've lived our lives in the civilian world. And I want to thank, in particular, people like Carl, being a docent here, volunteering his time to teach history, particularly to kids. One of the fun parts of being in the Capitol and one of the fun parts of being governor, as Carl mentioned, is you get thousands and thousands of fourth graders coming through all the time. And you get to share those wonderful stories of the history of our state. The other part of our state we should be so proud, in addition to the veterans and all your wonderful families, is we were the arsenal of democracy. And when we talk about family support for the war effort, there's no better illustration probably in the world than Rosie the Riveter. And we should be proud. She was a Michigander working in Willow Run during those days. So we can be proud that we supported you while you were making those sacrifices. And it was really about Americans coming together. So thank you for sharing your stories and your experiences, both during the war and after the war. You're a role model, you're a mentor to all of us. We want to say thank you. And I look forward to having the great chronicle that MLive helped put together, a legacy park that the Legacy Project's working on, to continue that legacy of wonderful thoughts that we can pass on to our children and their children for generations to come. So I hope you have a great experience here. And again, thank you. God bless you, and God bless America. Thank you.